Okay, here we are, Lobster Bisque Infused. We're just gonna go over everything that you're gonna need. If this is the way the lobster's still alive, you can just knock them upside down. Blood will be drawn to their head and they'll pass out. This is an ethical way of killing them if you're just doing one or two. Of course, if you're doing thousands of them, you're not even gonna bother. Moving forward, so we have our mirepoix, the white. We got a leek, onion, and carrot. You could do celery also. We have our seasonings in the side here. We have our cannabis. We have some butter. Sweat everything in. We have some garlic. Italian herbs, just because I'm not buying a bunch of herbs for like $2 and I'm left with like 80% waste because I'm never gonna use like a big bouquet of herbs. Some salt, some white pepper. So this is some shellfish, some prawn shells just cut up. Some seafood stock. We have a blender, some cheesecloth, some dry white wine, just a cheap $12 bottle of wine, and some cream to finish it off. We have a roux, so once the sauce has been all made, this will help thicken it a little bit, but the ultimate thickener again will be the blended veg and shell. So that'll be how the bisque actually gets thickened and the flavor in the body just gets like multiplied over in flavor. So we're just gonna boil off our lobster. You're just gonna poach it for 3 or 4 minutes, just trying to get the flesh to set and be firm. And then you finish off the cooking inside the bisque to absorb the flavor and overall get more lobster flavor. So you're not just putting in cooked meat and be done with it, because then the interior of the lobster claw, for example, won't have as much flavor. But if we finish the cooking of the claws inside the bisque liquid, you can absorb all the flavor from the essence of the roux, the wine, the stock, the herbs. Everything can go inside the lobster meat. And you're just going to take that claw all the way around. So it comes out. And you have this nice little nip of meat. This claw will just break that down after, but we're going to take out the piece of meat, snap this down, and then you're going to twist, and that's it. And then that's how you get these little marks on the claw. Alternatively, I just like cupping up the open here, and then eventually you can just pull out that whole claw of meat right there. A little bit of fat, but that's about it. Lobster shells in. Just put a little bit of butter on top. Get that going. We're gonna add our prawn shells, our mirepoix. Let that sweat and get cooked up a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of our seasonings. Let that cook. And then we will add our wine and let that reduce. We're gonna add a little bit of our garlic. We'll put a healthy amount of Italian herbs in here. Good pinch of white pepper. We're just gonna let that cook for now. We can go ahead and add our infusion here. It's already been ground, decarboxylated, and double sifted. So it's like the texture of flour essentially. So that's just gonna go all in. Put about 3 tablespoons in there. So I just got some cheaper white wine, some dry, a little bit on the sweeter side, not too crazy. The one lobster, about that much. I'm just gonna let that cook off for now. Next couple of minutes, let that reduce by half to about 1/3, and then we'll add our 2 cans of stock. Top it up with water if we need to cover. Let that boil for about 45 minutes, and that is about it. Lobster bisque. Blend it, strain it, serve it. Add a little cream, add a little butter for texture and color, flavor and richness, and there you go. I tend to use the cannabis flower knowing that it's going to be strained out, so I'm not going to have to worry about seeing any of it. You can replace the herb with probably a good amount of shatter, decarboxylated, or rosin, high quality rosin, to make sure you get rid of any of that chlorophyll green color. That should be about it if you want to do that. You could also go with high grade keef, that should also work. So we got it up to a boil, we're just going to skim a little bit. Just do a small skim, you can essentially just pick up any of those bubbles, and that's about it. We're just gonna bring down the heat, let this simmer for about, again, 30 minutes. Okay, so we just got our roux here. We're just gonna mix this up with a whisk. Now that this is all mixed in, we can just pop this right into our stock and be done with it. So typically you would temper the texture, so you would take a little bit of this and put it in here and then bring it all to texture. But since we're gonna blend it and cheesecloth strain it, it's kind of unnecessary actions, really. So you can just put it all in. The overall agitation from the shells mixing and bumping into each other and the overall whisking motion that you got going on, it'll break everything up and it'll keep everything active. So you don't have to worry about it too much, really. Alright, and that'll be about it for the roux. Just pop it in and done. So we got our lobster cannabis mix. And damn, it smells phenomenal. We're gonna finish off cooking our prawn meat and our lobsters in here for the final 3 minutes. And that's about it, Lobster Bisque. Hope you guys enjoy. The color actually, as you can see, it came back. It's actually not tinged green at all. Pretty nice, I don't have to worry about too much. And it being in a boil will reheat everything from it being in the fridge. So yeah, this is about it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If in terms of potency, you could use, technically you can use infused clarified lobster butter. Instead of adding the normal butter, you could add rosin after doing the skimming. Just because if you add the rosin and the oil floats to the top and you skim, you might be skimming off the rosin potentially. So you could add the rosin after skimming, same with the shatter, and you could also again infuse the roux even further with clarified infused butter, and that'll also be good. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of how and at what points you can infuse, but with the cannabis herb just going straight in with everything else really does everything as it needs to be. You don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.